What is going on, guys? This is Xbox Architect here, and welcome to part 4 of this wooden house building tutorial series. In this video, we're going to start doing the interior of the house, specifically the first floor. And I guess there's not really much else to be said, so go ahead and follow along, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so before we go ahead and start building out some of the furniture and decoration type stuff, what we're going to do is take dark oak slabs and we're going to create some ceiling trim and create like a cool decorative like coffered ceiling effect. And even though I said that we're only going to be furnishing the first floor, this step in particular, we're going to go ahead and just do everything all at once. So we're going to do the second floor too, just so that we're prepared for the next video when we do go ahead and do all the bedrooms and bathrooms and stuff upstairs. So I guess let's start there. All you need, like I said, is a dark oak slab. And what we're going to start by doing is just tracing all around the perimeter of this opening, this landing at the top of the stairs, and we're going to continue this into the open area above the entryway. We're going to come back and we're just going to meet back up at where we started. So it should look like this. Nothing super crazy, nothing super complicated, pretty simple. So then we'll come into the master bedroom here. We'll just do the same thing. Let's trace around the entire perimeter. Go ahead and just fill that in right there. So this is just going to be too deep. And come and meet back around. And in this case, the only extra thing we're going to do is just create one line going right down the center. And that should create 3 block wide openings all the way across, just like this. We'll come over across and we'll do both of these 2 bedrooms right here. We'll start with this one. Again, just trace around the perimeter. And in this case in particular, what we have here is a sea lantern that we placed in a previous video. So just make sure that you fill all the way around that sea lantern, just like this. And then right in the center hole, just go ahead and place a white stained glass block. Once you do that, you can continue around until you meet back up at where you started. So you should have this space right here, and the rest of the ceiling should be open with the perimeter trim. We're going to come to this other bedroom over here, and we're just going to do exactly the same thing. So come around your edges, make sure to fill in around this sea lantern, and then right in that center hole, place a white stained glass block. And then continue until you meet back up. And then we'll come into this bathroom here and just super simple, just trace around the perimeter. Alright, so now that we have the ceiling trim on the second level finished, let's just go ahead and fill in everything on the first floor here. And this should be fairly simple. We're not going to do anything in the powder room or this back mudroom area. We're just going to leave that ceiling blank. But we will come in the kitchen, and let's start off by just grabbing those dark oak slabs again. And we're just going to start tracing the entire perimeter, just like we did upstairs. And once you get to the point where you meet up with these spruce logs right here, all you have to do is just place those dark oak slabs right underneath, just like that. And then continue around and meet back up where you started. Now we're going to make this a 3x3 opening right here. So just go ahead and bring those dark oak slabs across, Make sure you have a 3x3 opening. And then we're just going to create another line of slabs going across right here, leaving another 3 block wide opening on this end of the kitchen. But we're going to leave this entire space right here in the center just completely open. Don't worry about filling anything else in. This should be all you need to do for this space in particular. Now let's go over to the dining room. Again, trace around the perimeter. We're going to do something a little bit different in here. So just go ahead and create a line going right down the center of the room like this. But then right in the center, go ahead and just delete that very, very middle block and fill in 3 slabs next to it on either side. So you should have a big square right in the center of the ceiling, just like this. And then we'll come across here to where this office is going to be. Again, trace around the perimeter. And then in this room, we're going to create a line all the way across in either direction. So you should have 4 3x3 openings in between, just like this. And then the last room we're going to do on the first floor here is this main living room. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and trace all the way around, except we're going to leave this space where the fireplace is going to be blank. So make sure you have a 5 block wide opening where you just leave out these dark oak slabs. Don't place any right here because we're going to end up building around that. But then just keep filling in around the entire perimeter. Meet back up where you started. And then right where these slabs end on both sides of the fireplace, we're just going to bring those back and meet up with this other back wall. Do the same thing over here. And then we're going to fill in the blocks in between. So directly in the center between all of these sea lantern lights, just go ahead and fill in like this. So right here over by the windows, you should have 3 3x3 openings in between. And then just continue these lines all the way across the room. And they should match up. And now you have this cool coffered ceiling effect. And again, don't worry about anything over here because we're going to build out the fireplace. Alright, so the first room we're going to start furnishing now that we have all of our ceiling trim done is the dining room. So we're going to start by building the dining room table, and to do that, just come into the dining room and look directly up at this center hole that we made with the ceiling trim, and then just go ahead and look back down at the ground, and then lengthwise in the room on either side of this block that you're staring at right now, just go ahead and place 1 dark oak slab just like this. So these two should be aligned directly in the center lengthwise, and the center of the room should be the space in the center between the 2 blocks widthwise. And so now that you have these 2 placed, go ahead and just raise them up 1 more and place 1 directly in the center on the 2nd level. So we're just going to have this little space underneath, and we're also going to do like a small area rug underneath the table. And in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and delete and replace some of the flooring material. So what you're going to need for that part is gray wool. So just go ahead and take gray wool and replace the wood floor right underneath that center portion of the table, just like this. And then we're also going to replace all the wood floor surrounding this little portion of the table we just made. So you should have a 3 block wide and 5 block wide section of just gray wool in replacement of this wood floor. And now what we can do is take our dark oak slabs and just fill in all the way around directly above the flooring material we just replaced. Now at this point what we're going to do is start placing our chairs, and so for this you're going to take smooth stone slabs and you're just going to place one directly in the center right next to the table on either end, just like this. And then you can just turn and go ahead and place two on the side, and you want to make sure that there's one block of space on either side and in between, and it should have an alignment just like this. Next thing you're going to want to do is we're actually going to replace the floor underneath the backs of these chairs, because the backs of these chairs are going to be doors, and you can't place a carpet where a door currently is, and the very edges of this area rug carpet are going to be black. So what you're going to do is take black wool and just fill in the block directly behind each of these chairs that you just placed. And once you have that done, go ahead and take an iron door, that's going to be your chair back, and you're going to face outward. You're going to stand on top of the table and face outward, and then just place an iron door directly behind each of these stone slabs, right like this. Now at this point what you can do is fill in the spaces surrounding the stone slabs with gray carpet. And then once you have that gray carpet filled in, all you need to do is take black carpet and trace all the way around the edges just like this. So you should have an area rug with one block's worth of space for the wood floor all the way around this entire room, except for in this little nook, but this will get filled in eventually, so that again will have the one block of space with the birch wood floor. So now that you have your table and chairs and this area rug, let's just go ahead and do like a tablecloth type of thing on top of the table. And in this case, I'm just doing this with red carpet. You can really do it with whatever color you want, but if you want to follow along exactly like I do, just go ahead and take red carpet and place red carpet all the way across the top of this table. Next thing we're going to do is take mangrove wood, and I'm kind of assuming that everybody has a version that's more up to date with kind of the current thing. If you don't have the ability to use mangrove wood, what I would recommend is using jungle wood, because it has kind of a horizontal texture pattern rather than a vertical texture pattern, and that's kind of what we're going for here. But if you have the ability to use mangrove wood, go ahead and grab that, and we're just going to place one in each of the corners just like this. And then we're also going to fill in the space right here where this little 5-block wide nook is. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to come into our inventory, and let's just restock a little bit here. What you're going to want to grab is white carpet. You're also going to grab a dark oak trapdoor, and you're also going to grab an iron trapdoor. And then let's come over here and let's just pick out a flower to use. Let's use a blue orchid. And then come into our items and grab a flower pot. Now each of these blocks that we just placed in the corners of the rooms, go ahead and just place your flower pot, and whichever flower you chose in the flower pot, just like this. It'll just add a nice bit of color to the space. Go ahead and do this for all 4 corners. And then let's look at this little nook right here. What we're going to want to do is take white carpet, and we're just going to cover the top of that, and it's going to act as kind of like a countertop. And I usually like to use the white carpet to kind of represent like a marble type of thing, but obviously it's just purely representative. It serves no function other than just decoration. And then we're going to take our we're going to take our dark oak trapdoors, and we're going to place them on the ground in front of the mangrove wood or jungle wood, whichever one that you're able to use. Whichever one you placed in between, just place a dark oak trapdoor directly in front of it, and then press it to flip it up. And we want these to cover the entire front of these blocks. And it's going to give kind of like a cool cabinet door effect. Then we're going to take our iron trapdoors, and we're just going to create some shelves with one block of space in between. So we're going to have 2 shelves all the way across, just like this. So your little nook should look pretty much basically like that. And you should have your flowers in all the corners of the rooms. Alright, so in the dining room here, we just have a couple more things to add, so let's just revamp our inventory. What you're going to do is come into your items, and you're going to grab an end rod, and then you're also going to grab a white stained glass block, and you're also going to grab a painting. So let's take that end rod, and we're just going to place it directly in that hole right in the center of the room on the ceiling. And then underneath that end rod, we're just going to place one white stained glass block like that, and it's just going to act as kind of like a little chandelier over the table. And then we'll just go ahead and add a couple of paintings. We're going to come right here. We're going to place one block kind of kitty corner from this corner block on the floor, and we're going to place a 2x2 painting right there. We're going to come over here and place another block and place a 1x2 painting directly in the center of this wall right here. And that should complete the dining room. Alright, so now let's start working on the kitchen. So for the main portion of these cabinets that we're going to make, we're going to use mangrove wood, but like I said in the dining room, if you don't have access to mangrove wood, just go ahead and use jungle wood. It's really not a big deal, but if you do have access to mangrove wood and other things like blackstone, if you're up to date with the latest versions, go ahead and follow along. We're also going to be using chiseled polished blackstone for the stove, but if you don't have access to any blackstone materials, you can just go ahead and use chiseled stone bricks, I believe it is. So what we're going to do is come into this corner, and we're going to see where the plank wall meets the log. And we're going to take our mangrove wood and place 3 blocks into the corner like this, and we want to make sure that the texture is facing horizontally instead of vertically. And then we're going to come along this back wall. And we're just going to place mangrove blocks until there's 1 block of space in between. Get the heck out of here. Until there's 1 block of space between the sliding glass door. So then you can count the blocks on this end. 1, 2, 3. And once you count 3, the next one go ahead and break. And you're just going to create a 3 block wide opening like this. And then you're going to count another 2. And then create another 2 block wide opening right like that. So your back wall should look like this. Now in this 2 block wide opening over here, we're going to create a fridge. And all you're going to need for that is smooth quartz blocks and polished blackstone button. If you don't have access to blackstone, just go ahead and use a stone button. But all you're going to do is place 2 smooth quartz blocks, and then another 2, and then another 2, and we're going to create a 2x3 basically giant smooth quartz block like this. And then these 2 center blocks, we're just going to place those buttons on either side, right like that. Then we'll come over to this other little opening right here. This is 3 blocks wide. You're going to take chiseled polished black stone. If you don't have access to this, go ahead and use chiseled stone bricks. But we're just going to place 3 of those here. And then on top of that, you're going to take stone pressure plates and place one on top of each. And then you're also going to need a birch trapdoor. And in order to do this, we're going to place one on the front of each of these blocks. But as you can see, there's a little handle. It's that little dark portion at the bottom of these trapdoors right here. We actually want those to face up. So if you just placed them and they're facing down, what you're going to want to do is just place them on the floor directly in front of these blocks and then tap them to turn them up just like that. And those are basically just going to act as like oven doors. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take white carpet. This is basically going to be a countertop. I like to think of it like a marble or a quartz countertop. And we're just going to place white carpet on top of all the remaining mangrove cabinet blocks. Now once you do that, we're going to take the mangrove wood again. And we're just going to go ahead and place a 2x2 portion right here. We're going to leave 1 block of space before this stove area. And we're going to do the same thing over here, except it's going to be laid out slightly differently. We're just going to place all the way above, just like this, and go above the fridge, fill in the corner. So essentially, you want to have the entire second row of cabinets above filled in, except for this 5 block wide opening with the stove centered on the bottom of that. Now what you're going to do is take iron trapdoors, and you're just going to place 2 next to either of these cabinets, just as little shelves. And so now you have 3 blocks of space in between. And then finally, you're going to take stone stairs. You're going to place one directly in the center like this. You're going to want to leave 2 blocks of space above the stove. And then once you place that in the middle, you can turn 90 degrees on either side, just like this. And that's going to act as a stove hood. Now there is one final thing that we will come in and grab. We're just going to grab a regular oak trapdoor, and we're going to go ahead and place those on the bottom of that stone hood that we just created, right like this. And that's super easy, simple. There's your back wall of cabinets and shelves. And then the next thing we're going to do is the island and all the things related to that. Alright, so to start laying out this island, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this side of the cabinets on the back wall here. And this one block right here, we're going to go in 1, and we're going to count 3 blocks of space out from there. So you're going to want to start placing mangrove wood right here. Again, 3 blocks of space out from the cabinet, but make sure you leave 1 block of space at the edge right here. And then you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be 7 blocks wide, just like this. And you should have another 3 blocks of space between where this wall of cabinets starts. Now that you have those placed, go ahead and grab dark oak slabs and place dark oak slabs directly on the front of those on the higher level, right like this. Once you have that done, take smooth stone slabs, place 1 in from the edge, and leave 1 block of space in between, and you should have 3 seats just like this. And we're going to create these like bar seats, not like high back fancy dining chairs like these. So what we're going to do is take dark oak signs, and you're just going to place one on the back of each of these slabs, and you don't have to worry about writing anything. Just exit out of that keyboard prompt when it pops up. And so now you have these little bar seats. And then we'll come over here on this side, And you're looking at these mangrove blocks right here, and you're going to count 2 from the edge and then create a 2-block wide opening. And what you're going to do is grab a cauldron and place 2 of those, and those are going to be your kitchen sinks. So again, you should have 2 mangrove blocks, then 2 cauldrons. And then on this right here, this is going to be a space for like a dishwasher. So take a birch trapdoor and place one on the ground directly in front of that mangrove block, and then click it to flip it up. Now what you can do is take white carpet, again matching the countertops that we did on the cabinets in the back, and we're just going to fill in all this remaining space with that white carpet. Now what you're going to do is take an end rod, and you're going to stand right above the island, directly in front of this very end seat, and you're just going to place one on the ceiling. Place that one too far forward. You want this to be in this corner right there. And you're going to come over here and do the same thing again. Stand above the island right in front of that end seat, and then look up and place that on the ceiling right there. And both of these should be in this orientation directly above this line of blocks where this overhang of dark oak slabs is. And they should also be directly above each of these end seats that we created. Now once you have those end rods placed, all you have to do is very similar to the dining room. Just go ahead and place white stained glass blocks directly underneath those, and then you have a couple of hanging pendant lights. Now, originally I had thought about the idea of doing a backsplash or something above the stove, but in order to do that, I usually like to have 2-block thick walls. If you really wanted to have something decorative right here instead of just the plain wood, you're more than welcome to, but you just have to keep in mind whatever you place right there will be seen on this back wall on the exterior of the house. So in this particular case, I'm just not going to. Now we also have this little bar area right here. This is just like a small wet bar, which essentially in real life you could have like wine bottles or beverage fridges or something. All we're gonna need to do for that is place 2 mangrove blocks right here, place white carpet on top of those, and then let's come into our inventory. Let's grab dark oak trapdoor and an iron trapdoor. And let's just go ahead and place those dark oak trapdoors on the front of those mangrove blocks. And then we're going to create 2 shelves with these iron trapdoors, just like that. And now that should complete your kitchen space. I actually just lied. I completely forgot about one more thing. All you're going to need to do is come over to this corner right here and place 1 block of mangrove wood and then 2 oak leaves on top of that, and it just adds like a cool little plant element. Nothing super crazy, but you know, it just adds a little bit more livelihood to the space. Now I did check to make sure we are complete with the kitchen, so let's go ahead and move on to the main living area. So let's go ahead and start building out the fireplace and everything on this back wall here. What you're going to want to start with is netherrack, and you're just going to take these 3 blocks in this fireplace area and delete those and replace them with the netherrack. And then once you do that, go ahead and take polished andesite, and you're going to delete the 3 blocks in front of the netherrack and replace those with the polished andesite. Then you're going to take just normal diorite, not polished or chiseled or anything like that, just the raw diorite, and you're going to place in front of all these cobblestone blocks right like that, all the way up to the ceiling. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take smooth quartz stairs and you're going to place them upside down 2 blocks off the floor, leaving 1 block of space above the fireplace area. And then directly on top of that, you're going to place black concrete, and this is going to become a TV. And then above that black concrete, go ahead and place another 3 smooth quartz stairs, upside down, right like that. And then you can go ahead and, where is it? I think it's in items. Either grab a fire charge or a flint and steel, whatever you want to use to light this on fire. Just go ahead and grab that, and let's just take that netherrack and light it up. Now the next thing we're going to do is add in some built-ins on either side of the fireplace underneath these windows. We're actually going to do this with white wool, and that might seem a little strange to you, but it'll make sense once I explain it here. We're going to go ahead and put dark oak trapdoors on the front to be like a cabinet face, so you're never going to see those. And we're going to have white carpet on top anyway, but directly in the center of both of these built-ins, we're actually going to put flower pots, and you can't place a flower pot on top of a carpet, so the only other option is to use the same material, which is white wool. So go ahead and fill in all the blocks on either side of the fireplace just like this, and then take your dark oak trapdoor and just place them in front of all of those wool blocks, and then you can go ahead and flip them all up. And then we're going to place 4 white carpets on either of these built-ins, and we're going to leave the center one open, just like that. Then you can come into your items and you can grab a flower pot, and you can also come into your flower section, and in this case I'm just going to use this purple flower. Go ahead and place your flower pot directly in the center of these built-ins and your flower in the pot. Do that again for the other side. And that should be it for this wall, and this is exactly why I was saying it's fine to use the wool for these built-ins, because we're going to be covering them with these oak trapdoors anyways, so it really doesn't matter, and it allows you to have your flower pot right in the center. Next, let's go ahead and look at this back wall looking into the kitchen. We're going to create another couple of built-ins, except this time we're going to go up to the ceiling. What you're going to want to do is actually take spruce wood or spruce logs, whichever you choose, and you're just going to delete the ceiling trim right where it intersects on both of these, and we're actually going to bring the spruce wood all the way down, essentially extending this opening by 1 on either side. Once you have those placed, go ahead and delete these corner blocks for ceiling trim and place those spruce blocks right like that, and you should have a 3-block wide opening on both sides. Make sure that all of your textures are vertical, and then go ahead and grab bookshelves and place 3 of them in both openings, and then on top of that place white carpet, and then on top of that white carpet we're just going to place iron trapdoors and create 2 shelves just like that. Do the same thing over here, and that'll complete this back wall. Now let's go ahead and start building out the couches and the coffee table and the end tables and all the stuff in the center of the room. What you're going to want to start with is dark oak slabs, and we see that the fireplace has a 3-block wide opening. We're going to count 3 blocks back from that, make sure there's 3 blocks of space, and then go 1 more and place a dark oak slab. And then we're going to make that 3 blocks wide just like the fireplace, again leaving 3 blocks of space in front of that, and then just add another row so that we have a 2x3 coffee table just like this. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take smooth stone slabs and you're going to leave one block of space next to this coffee table and just go around the perimeter just like this, but we're going to leave this side blank and we're also going to leave the front blank. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stone slabs in that direction and then another 3 right there. Then what you can do is take normal gray wool and just surround all the slabs that you just placed. Just like this. Then you can come over here. We're going to do sort of the same thing, except we're going to make a little chair. So in this case, take a smooth stone slab, just a singular one, leave one block of space in between the coffee table and place it towards the front like this. And then take your gray wool and surround it right like that. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your mangrove wood and you're going to place one right on the side of this L-shaped sectional sofa. And then on top of that, you're going to place a candle. And then you can go in and again use whatever tool you want to light this thing and just set it off right like that. So now that you have this furniture placed, what we're going to do is grab light gray carpet and we're just going to trace around the perimeter right like this. And we want to have one block of carpet on the ends of all these chairs and sofas that we just placed. And then just go ahead and fill in all the center spots. So again, you should have one block of carpet on the border of all this furniture. And then let's come over here to this wall with the windows. Let's just go ahead and place any block, it really does not matter, leaving a 3-block wide opening underneath this center window. And then take dark oak stairs and place them upside down facing in. And fill in that center portion with just a regular dark oak slab. You can go ahead and delete the blocks on the side. And then on the top of this, just go ahead and put black carpet. Then the final thing that we're going to do in this room is we're just going to place a painting over here. We're going to try and get ourselves a 2x2 painting. So in this case, just go ahead and place a block right there. And we're going to place our 2x2 painting so that we have one block of space before the floor. Alright, so now we're complete with this main living room area. Let's go ahead and move on to this office space right next door. Let's start working on this back wall right here. We're going to do something super similar to what we did on this back wall over here, except we're going to make this basically the entire back wall. So what we're going to do is take spruce wood and go ahead and just delete these 2 corner ceiling trim blocks and take your spruce wood and just bring it all the way down in both of these corners. And then go ahead and just fill in the space in between. The orientation of the blocks in between really does not matter because we're going to cover those. Essentially what we're going to do is create built-ins just like over here. We're going to take our dark oak trapdoors and put those on the front just like that. And then we're going to take white carpet and we're going to fill in the top just like that. Now on this 3-block wide sectional wall in between the windows, we're also going to create some shelves, kind of a tongue twister. So take an iron trapdoor and just go ahead and place 2 shelves with 1 block of space, just like that. And now let's build a little desk and chair. What you're going to look at is directly in the center here. with 1 block of space in front of these cabinets, go ahead and take a polished andesite stairs and place it facing forward into the room just like that. Now you can take any block, doesn't matter which, and you're just going to place 2 just like this with 3 blocks of space in between in front of the stairs you just placed for the seat. And you can take dark oak stairs and place them upside down facing inward like that and fill in the center space with a dark oak slab. Now you can just go ahead and delete those side blocks that you placed. And we're just going to put gray carpet on the top of that. Just kind of nice little simple decoration. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this wall right here, and let's just create a nice little filing cabinet. So come in here and grab a block of iron, and also come into your items, and where are the buttons? I'm blind. I can never find these stupid things. Alright, so right in the direct center of these 2 windows, go ahead and place 2 blocks of iron right on top of each other like that, and then go ahead and just place a polished black stone button, or stone button if you don't have access to black stone, right on the front of either of those blocks. And then we can come into our items again. Let's just grab an item frame and, I don't know, some sort of decorative head. Let's just grab a creeper head, and then another block of space above those at the same top level height of these windows. Go ahead and place an item frame, and then whichever head you grabbed right in the center of that item frame. Let's just take another couple final steps here in the office. This back wall that leads into the main living area, in these corners, go ahead and place a block of mangrove wood just like that. And then on top of that, go ahead and place 2 oak leaves. And that just creates a nice little bit of color, a nice little bit of decoration in here. And we're also going to create a sort of lounge chair thing in front of this desk. What you're going to need for that is just smooth quartz slabs and smooth quartz stairs. And we'll start by taking the smooth quartz slabs, and we're just going to place 3 1 block of space in between in front of the desk, just like that. And then right behind there in the center, we're going to place 1 smooth quartz stair. And then we'll turn 90 degrees so that we have an angle coming out like this, and do the same thing on the other side. And that's just a very simple way to make a little lounge chair, and that should complete the office. Alright, so before we move on to the powder room in the back, since we're right here in the front entryway, let's just go ahead and complete this just because we're here. So what you're going to want to do is take mangrove wood and again place those in the corners right there, leaving 1 block of space before this doorway opening in the front. And then on top of those, go ahead and just place a flower pot. And in this case, I'm just going to use a cornflower. Go ahead and place that in the flower pot right like that. Now we're going to want to put some paintings on these big open walls right here, and in order to do that, we're going to try and manipulate these with these blocks. So we want to have a 4 block wide painting above the door, but we only want it to be 2 blocks tall. So go ahead and just place 1 block 3 blocks above this opening, and then directly above the door on the left side, go ahead and place a painting. That didn't work either. So if you get a big painting like this, go ahead and delete that, and then just place another mangrove wood block directly above the doorway right there, and try again, and that's perfect. So we're going to leave that right there like it is. We also want to have a big painting, and we kind of want to center it on this portion of the wall right here. As you can see, this is a little bit more jutted out from this wall. So what we're going to do, just kind of like right there, we're going to eyeball it That seems to be about right. We can just go ahead and leave that big painting right there like that. And then let's come over here to the other side and do the same thing. And that seems to work well. And you're going to want to make sure that these paintings are at the same height, and they are, so those should be good to go. Now we can come over here and start working on the powder room. So as you can see, this room is pretty small. We're really not going to need a whole ton of stuff in here. We'll just kind of make this the simple basics. So start by grabbing smooth quartz stairs, and this is going to be your toilet. You don't need to build up a huge toilet with a whole bunch of different blocks. This is very good for just being very representative, simple to the point. So go ahead and place those smooth quartz stairs right there in this back corner near the window. And then next to that, take a polished blackstone button and place that right next to it. Now let's look at this wall. In this case, I'm using mangrove wood, but really you can use any block because we're going to cover the top and the front of it. So just take any block, place them in either corner like this, leaving one space in between, and in that space go ahead and just place a cauldron. And then on the fronts of these blocks, go ahead and just place dark oak trapdoors and click them up just like that. And now you have a nice little vanity. But let's just go ahead and put a countertop on the vanity. And in this case, let's just use light gray carpet. So place those on top of either of the corner blocks, leaving the sink open. And then above the sink, go ahead and place a white banner. And this is just kind of representative for like a mirror. And then we're going to take a dark oak slab and we're going to place it on the bottom half of this top row of blocks for the wall. And underneath that, we're just going to place a lantern, and that's going to act as your vanity light. And then we can turn around on this wall right here. Let's just go ahead and grab a painting, add a little bit more of a decorative touch here. Let's just put a 2x2 painting right here on the wall above the toilet. And that's basically all you need to do for this room. Alright, so the last room on the first floor that's going to take a substantial amount of work is this mudroom slash laundry room. So let's start building out this back wall right here. Start by taking spruce wood blocks or spruce logs, doesn't matter which, and just go ahead and do floor to ceiling blocks in either corner, just like this. And then take your mangrove wood and go all the way along the bottom in between, right like that. And then right in the center block, just go ahead and delete that and replace it with a cauldron. And then next to that cauldron, we're going to have a laundry or a dryer machine on either side. Go ahead and place birch trapdoors in front of those two and flip them up just like that. And then right on top of that, go ahead and place iron trapdoors. Next to that, go ahead and place light gray carpet on top. And then take dark oak trapdoors and fill in the fronts just like that. Now again, take your mangrove wood and we're going to create some wall cabinets. We want one block of space above on either side right here, but we want to leave a 3-block wide space open just like this. And in that 3-block space, we're going to go ahead and place upside down facing inward some dark oak stairs. And then in this center spot right here, go ahead and fill that in with a dark oak slab. And then on top of that, go ahead and fill in the mangrove wood. Mangrove wood. Oh my lord, that is a tongue twister. Go ahead and fill in the mangrove wood on top of that just like this. Now once you have that done, really the last thing that you need to do, it's not completely necessary, but I'm just going to do it anyway, is I'm going to take a normal oak trapdoor and I'm just going to place those all the way across, just like this. Alright, so now that we have this back wall filled in, let's just go ahead and look at this other blank wall right here. Let's just go ahead and create a quick bench where you could come in from the garage and just take your shoes off. So take smooth quartz stairs and place one block away from this corner right here with the window. And then just go ahead and turn in. Make sure that they're placed correctly on the ground. We want it to look just like this. And then 2 blocks above that, we're just going to go ahead and place 3 iron trapdoors just as a shelf. You can put boots or hats or whatever the heck other things up here. Really doesn't matter. But then the final thing we're going to do is just add a couple more paintings. So in this spot right here, we're going to want to do a 1x2. So we'll go ahead and place that just there. And then on this wall right here, we're going to want 2 2x2s. So just go ahead and place one so that there's 1 block of space with the spruce planks before this spruce log opening. And then on the other side here, do the same thing. Go ahead and just place a 2x2. And that should complete this final space. Now we're going to take another couple of final steps here before we complete this portion of the tutorial. All we're going to do, see, I don't remember if I had told you to do this before, but if you did, that's great. If you have stairs here in front of the garage door, that's awesome. If you don't, all you need to do is just go ahead and place either just normal stone stairs or polished andesite stairs, just like this in front of this opening. But the final step that we really need to take for a majority of these spaces is filling in all these empty doorways. And even though doors are typically just 2 blocks high, I like to make these openings 3 blocks high and then fill in with some planks above that just to give it the illusion that it is a little bit bigger than it actually is. So in this case, for this opening, go ahead and place dark oak planks at the top like that, and then take a dark oak door and just fill it in just like that. We're going to do the same thing here for the powder room. Go ahead and place dark oak planks and then a dark oak door. We're going to come over here and do the same thing for this hall closet. So place 2 dark oak planks and 2 dark oak doors. And do the same thing for the front, except we're going to want to place these doors from the outside, just like that. We're also going to go ahead and add some area rugs in here, and I usually like to use area rugs in big open spaces because it does a really good job of hiding extra lighting. So if your spaces are pretty dark and you want to be able to kind of brighten them up a bit, but you don't know how without adding extra lights all around on the walls and cluttering things up, this is a super simple way to do this. So in this case, we're in the front entry right now. Let's just take black carpet and we're going to place 4 kitty corner from these corner decorative blocks just like this, leaving 1 block of space in front of the doors. And we're just going to create a 3x4 carpet. And we're going to leave those center 2 blank, and we're actually going to replace the flooring material with sea lanterns. And then go ahead and fill in those center 2 with light gray carpet. And then we'll come over here and do the same thing next to this little wet bar in between the kitchen and the main living room. We're going to create a 3 block wide carpet starting right at the edge of these spruce logs, and we're gonna just bring these out to be 5 blocks in length so that they end on this side of the wet bar. So you should have 3 open blocks in the center. Go ahead and delete either of those outer 2, replace them with sea lanterns, and then fill in the center with light gray carpet. And this is a step that we didn't do with this carpet in the main living room, so if you're unhappy with how dark it is in here, I might have my brightness turned up a little bit brighter than you guys do. I'm not so sure because obviously I can't see your screen, but if that's the case and you want to brighten up this room a bit, just go ahead and take away each of these corner carpets, and then also take away each of these center carpets, and just randomly interdispersed whatever carpets you delete. Go ahead and replace that flooring material with a sea lantern, just like this. And then fill back in with your light gray carpet above all the sea lanterns you just placed. And so now your room should be a little bit brighter. You can have a little bit more ambient lighting if it was too dark before. And yeah, basically that should complete everything on the first floor here. And with that being said, make sure you stay tuned for the next video in this series, which we're going to do all of the furnishings upstairs in the bedrooms and the bathrooms. And if you're enjoying the series so far, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for staying aware of more content that I have coming up for you in the future. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and see you in the next video.